So this is it's a conventional 2-car garage, and forgive the mess. We're reorganizing stuff so we can get 2 cars in here. 2-car garage. The Tesla will probably go in that far bay, and that kind of works out because the breaker box is over there. And I'll just give you a slow pan of the garage here. That wall right there is an exterior wall. It does go to, and that is where the main power feed comes in. But I'm thinking probably install the wall connector somewhere along this wall. That way it's fairly close to the breaker. We can run a 60 amp circuit, right to that wall connector, and should be fairly doable. Another location I was thinking was overhead on this beam right here. This is about the midway point. I was thinking maybe mount it up there on that beam, and that would kind of let me put the car on either side of the garage and still be able to use it. But I don't want to have conduit running down that right there. I'd like to have it kind of tucked up inside that the space above that roof, that ceiling right there. But that may not be an option. Maybe the easiest thing to do is to put the wall connector nice and mounted on this wall over here, somewhere about where this scrap wood is. And again, this scrap wood will be gone by the time you guys get here. I'll have that all cleared out, so when you do your installation, it won't be in the way. But the breaker panel, it's a 200 amp service. Get this open. It's 200 amp. There are several slots available in here. These are blanks, these are blanks, these are blanks. This 30 amp, 240 volt, I don't know where this goes. It's not labeled on the breaker panel, and I have no idea what that goes to. We have gas furnace, and we have gas water heater. And there is a circuit down here labeled water heater and it's right here, another 30 amp, 240 volt. But I know where this one goes. It actually goes into this utility closet back here, and I've got a compressor that's back here. I'm using that to power this compressor in here and some server equipment. But that circuit, I do know that where it says water heater, that is not the water heater. That is actually that 30 amp service that goes into that closet, because we're using gas heat. That was a free ones, and they already had the cabling ran. I just put a 30 amp plug on there for the compressor. So I'm not quite sure what this 30 amp breaker goes to. Maybe we could find that and maybe use it. I don't know. But I'd kind of like to mount the wall connector possibly on this wall. And then the other thing I wanted to do was to put a 1450 outlet, a whole new circuit, and use a 1450 plug, mount it flush mount on this wall. I'll have the toolbox moved. Flush mount on this wall, nice, where all you see is the connector. Back in here, it's just naked walls, no insulation. So possibly we could, run the cabling up through there, down the wall, back to the breaker panel, and just pull a 50 amp circuit and put a 1450 plug, mount it on this side with just the plug on this, flush on this side of the wall. And that would let me use the mobile connector. So if we put the wall connector here, I pull the car, if I use this bay for the Tesla, I'm in good shape. I can use that. If I ever have to move over and use this bay, if we had the that 1450 plug right there, I could just use the Tesla mobile connector and just plug it in that way. And also, if my wife ever gets a EV, we'll have that plug ready to go. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. Install a wall connector on its own 60 amp circuit on possibly that wall somewhere. Maybe even right next, if it's right next to the panel, that's probably fine too, if it's the easiest thing to do. It doesn't have to be, whatever's easiest. And then run another 50 amp circuit, in the ceiling and down, and put a 1450 plug right there, just in case. So that's kind of what I'd like to do. If there's any questions, let me know. I'll send you some photos of the breaker box layout and some other photos of the garage too.